So black is with the shimari there. Black is playing old style. But this is actually something that black can do sometimes. And when AlphaGo was playing as master on against top professionals, they would always answer this and like this. But nowadays, people just the opening theory has changed a bit so that they tend to leave it. Sometimes playing towards the side with something like this. Sometimes playing on top if there's something on the top side of the board. Black has more variety in the moves that black likes to play against white's shoulder hit. And in some cases, that's making this the knight's shimari feasible. So basically, the problem with this move is that in some cases, the corner is going to get over concentrated. So this is what made its AlphaGo, the master version of AlphaGo, so successful. When it played against us, it was just forcing people to play a lot of moves locally, and people were getting over concentrated towards the corner and things like that. And so the fact that people have devised a number of different ways to handle the shoulder hit could be part of why this move it's working for some people. Some people actually like to play the small shimari still. But he did crawl. Okay. So up to this point, it looks pretty normal. Oh, good. Yeah, I thought I had the right game. So playing here in the hane, this is a very common variation here. And going straight down. So if black answers here, white will extend. And probably, actually, maybe this way. And we'll be able to surround black from the center. So black plays here. Black doesn't have any ko-threats for this ko. And this trade is very, we see a lot of this variation. So this is where it's getting really exciting. Where it would have been perfectly normal for black to crawl here. I believe white is thinking of doing stuff like this to connect up to the top side. Wow. Okay. Yes. Okay. So white's hitting some weak points in black's shape, but black does seem to be okay with this. So black is connected on the first line, which is usually not so good, but black does have 4 liberties. So if white does something like this, both of white's groups are short of liberties, and this is already a ladder, so this is not working for white locally. Okay. So black is winning this race to capture by 1 move, and white is just going to, oh, okay. I missed that one. So white has this in the corner. White can extend his liberties. Just because the black group on the left here is not so strong. So locally, if black plays here, white has 4 liberties left. So the race on the right, black is winning by 1 move. But of course, black won't have time to do that because white can fill a liberty on this side. So black's losing that fight. So what does he do? It's going to be a ko in the corner. Okay. This is complicated. So, I guess that trade didn't make any difference. Okay, so black is connected underneath. Okay. So if white had played, let's see, there's potential for it to be a seki, although it depends on how the players continue that. So for instance, if white had played here, and just to keep things simple, if we assume this position, it would be a seki. But a seki is probably bad for white because the white group here is not alive yet. So this would be painful in any case. And white's not really strong on the other side either. So this is probably good for black. And white is going to try to capture those black stones. So this is going to be a ko. Okay. So basically, so what is black doing with this connection? So here, black can play like this, and it's a ko with black taking first. But let's see. In this case, white would probably, yes, white would use this Atari as a ko threat, and white would win the ko. So that's what black is trying to avoid here by connecting. It looks like it's a so Zihao is black and Byun Sangil is white. This looks like a rather painful move though, adding a stone here. And so, oh, white played there too. So still, if black starts the ko, well, white takes first in this case anyway. So that's just bad for black. But actually, white can start the ko next. Yes. So white can start the ko next. Let's play a random move for black. White can start the ko next and use this ko threat. So this is what white is threatening to do. And so black connected there. Okay. So in some cases, it will be okay for black to sacrifice those stones on the top, but it depends on what's happening in the center. So for instance, if white were to play here, it seems to me that white will be able to win this ko. And black will probably be able to capture some stones here in return. Maybe something like this. So this kind of trade, white would have been spending a lot of stones to capture that upper right. Maybe it's okay if black can capture these stones in the center. So white does have an opportunity here to win the ko fight. But for instance, the same kind of variation would be bad for bad for black if black had played some move like this, which would be, in this variation, it would become wasted. So the threat of this ko, in this case, black would have more trouble trying to capture these white stones in the center. So the threat of this ko is limiting what black can do in the local fight. So if black can, oh wow, he's played away. Okay, so finally black has escaped in the center. That makes sense. I'm not so sure about this stuff that was happening in the lower left corner. Escaping in the center, it keeps a potential attack in the center. So for instance, white's threat here is to play something like this and win the ko in the corner. And for instance, maybe black's going to play here and capture these stones. So escaping with the black stones in the center and sort of setting up to capture these stones, or black could play this. This is a big ko threat too. In this case, black could play this ko threat. And having this extra ko threat, this would be the best variation for black. With this strong position in the center of the board and capturing the ko, the lower left corner, is a variation where it would be okay for black to be losing this ko. I'd say this is probably going to be a win for black. Okay, so it's a trade of this white group in the center. Probably dead. Maybe dead. These guys don't give up with these groups, though. It's probably going to try something. But if we assume the white group is dead, that's something like 40 points there. So white's territory in the upper right is close to 30 points. And white has some territory in the lower right corner. So the right half of the board, the territory is probably, if we call that a black territory in the center, the territory is probably comparable. Then white has a very solid shape in the lower left corner, which is probably worth about 20 points. And black has an area in the upper left part of the board, which is going to be pretty big. So it's okay for black if black can capture these stones on the right half of the, oh yeah, but you can see white's going to contest it. So white plays here, and white's going to try to survive here. We have to remember that white does have a forcing move here. So this is threatening to capture the black stones on the right. And so if white does that and takes this vital point here, then it will become very difficult for black to kill the white group. If black plays here, though, white does have room to sort of squeeze out there. So the idea is to play one of these 2 points, and it looks like white will have a living shape now. I'd say this is going to be alive. And even this, let's see, this is 10, 20, 30 so points. Let's say white has close to 40 points plus the lower left corner. So white has close to 60 points. More than 50 at least. If we say white lives like this, black's probably going to play something like this. White still has room to move into the upper side. I don't really see anything like this. I don't really see, it doesn't seem likely that white's going to die here. So if white can live in the center, I'd say this is a win for white. Yeah, I've been challenged, yes. That's because I logged into OGS to make an announcement there. Someone challenged me. Right. So that co-fight, it was a bit painful for black, playing all those moves, erasing close rest. Like this, it's almost a wasted move that black played here. And then here. While white's getting the squeeze without having to play at Q10. So white didn't actually have to squeeze that black group all the way. So that was sort of painful. And the fact that white could sort of wait until the right timing to play this ko and still win it. It would have been okay for black if black could capture this. But it looks like it's going to be difficult for black to kill this white group. Like, the shape move is just to play here. This is the shape move. So the fact that this is alive, it makes it very difficult.